Ben Bishop winning 2 months of playoff games. Yes, I can.
You're coming around. You're coming around because
You're adding more teams. Only a couple more. I will not. I'm not giving you Washington. I'm not giving you Vancouver, and I don't think the Leafs can win the cup. So I agree on Vancouver. So I gave you Anaheim, Chicago. Detroit. Forget that. Anaheim, Chicago, Rangers.
It's like
Nashville, there's 4, and I would give you, I can't see St. Louis.
Kind of like education.
I'm sorry, there's 5 teams in the West that win the cup right now. Nashville,
Every day she goes away,
Anaheim, LA.
know what's
In the
happening.
East. Now, I'm going to go against my own rule here, because I don't see the Islanders there yet. I'm taking a 7-game playoff series. I'm taking a team like the Penguins for the Habs, but I think the Habs and the Lightning and the Rangers and the Penguins and the Caps can all win the cup. How can Washington win the Stanley Cup? They're going to be 8. I mean, never mind seed. Watch this team play, man. Don't tell me to watch the games. Don't do this. They're playing better hockey under Barry Trotz and for a long time. And they, look at that decor. They won the President's Trophy with Bruce Boudreau. They got knocked out by a goal against Montreal that year. If they get through that round, anything's possible.
Yeah, they overreacted to it.
Yes, I know that.
It's taken them 6 years to get back.
Yeah, but they're not as talented as they were 6 years ago, when Bruce Boudreau was coaching. They beat a unbelievably good Boston team in the first round 3 years ago. So I want to add Montreal to that list. I got Montreal and Tampa are the only teams to me that I can visualize, and the Rangers, those 3. There's 3 and there's 4.
So Washington and Montreal get the conference final, and there's just no conceivable way that the Caps win that series.
I didn't see you.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
That's getting to the final. When they get there,
when you get there, anybody can win that thing. Yes. So people talk like the LA Kings just waltzed their way past the Rangers last year, and it was never in doubt. Okay. They won in 6 games, and there was 4 overtime.
That's right. You're doing great. But you know who they did waltz over? The 2012 New Jersey Devils, who looked around and said, "What on earth? How did Martin Brodeur resurrect himself?"
Did they? You know that series?
Yes, they did.
You know it wasn't a sweep, right? It went 6 games, and there was 2 more overtime games.
It was 3-0 after
right.
3.
And the first 2 games in New Jersey, LA scores in overtime to win. Like the margin of
they won those games.
The margin of victory and defeat is so small between winning and losing. And a bounce here, like that's not domination. I'm sorry, it's not.
I just don't want you to lose.
The clincher was domination. The last game of the series.
Well, yes. Yeah, I didn't count on Steve Ballmer.
My point is, it doesn't even matter what you and I think. All those teams we mentioned, whether you think they can win or I think they can win, they think they can win.
But
the Washington Capitals think that this is their year.
We could kick this around for a long time. The Washington Capitals would like to add a player to increase their chances. And even if we're not talking cup winning, again, 1 team wins, 15 teams lose, but there's steps made along the way. And Washington would love to win a round. That'd be a great triumph for Barry Trotz and the Caps to win a round. If Nashville made the conference finals, that's further than they've ever been. They'll take it. They'll be thrilled in Music City to go to the conference finals and win 2 rounds.
I think normally there's a lot of teams like the Bruins this year. Like the Bruins this year aren't adding anybody because they're like, hey, listen, we don't know where we are right now. We might make, we might not, but we can't be mortgaging the future. And generally speaking, there's more teams like that. This year there's not. Well, it's the Bruins, it's maybe the Kings. There's a lot of teams, and throw the Islanders into that mix.
I don't think teams like Detroit are going to blow their brains out because they think it's their year. Vancouver's not going to make some transaction.
We didn't include those teams on our list anyway.
No, they're not.
Right, but a team like Montreal, a team like Tampa, a team like the Rangers,
right.
They feel they can win.
That's what people got to get over in this city. There's playoff contenders, cup contenders. People forget what it means to be a cup contender like they were in 02 or 03. There's playoff contenders, there's cup contenders. 2 different things.
Brady Walker, 651. Let's do best and worst.
Best Brendan Gallagher and worst Brendan Fraser
with Brady and Walker.
Is it even? It's Fraser, right? Like it's
Brendan Fraser. Yeah, it's not like Fraser. Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, it's not down goes Fraser. I don't know.
It is best win, worst loss, best player, worst player. I have best player.
Okay, good. I have best win. It was on Sportsnet last night. Vancouver Canucks with a third period goal from Zach Kassian. Vancouver big points. You know Eddie Lack can play. I gotta tell you. 40 saves last night.
I actually do kind of like Kenny Blacko.
He's an easy guy to root for. But they get the win 2-1 over the Boston Bruins. The points were very valuable. A lot of Canadian teams did win last night. Maybe that'll factor in a little later on. But the Canucks move now 73 points. The hard-charging Kings have won 8 straight, but Vancouver's staying ahead of them for the time being. They got a 3-point bulge. Kings have a game in hand, and they're still in second place. They still host Game 1 of a playoff series.
My best player, I'm going to give a little love to Carolina Hurricanes goaltender Cam Ward, who is understandably one of the most classy guys in the National Hockey League. You know the story of Cam Ward, but
It's not classy.
last night he plays 500 NHL games. Yes, he's been around that long. The Carolina Hurricanes pick up 2 points and win over the Philadelphia Flyers and closing in on those Toronto Maple Leafs.
They're getting a lot closer. Worst player, Oklahoma City pounded Indiana last night 105-92. And one of those sort of where was he nights for Roy Hibbert, who had 6 points on 8 shot attempts. Most of them were 2 feet away from the basket. I didn't want someone to take a gamble on Roy Hibbert. I don't even know if it's a gamble, but there's a guy that when he's on, one of the best centers in the game. Everyone said, hey, it's Dwight Howard, Roy Hibbert, and everybody else a couple of years ago. But another down night for Indiana. When on earth it feels like Paul George should be playing by now. It's even walking.
Oh, man, we heard about him. See, we got to tell the story about it. We watched the guy Paul George's leg yesterday on an icy crosswalk. Unbelievable.
We missed the live.
We'll get to that.
We could have got the live action shot, and we'd been there 3 minutes earlier. He went down hard.
Worst loss. You know what? I'll give it to the Minnesota Wild. They lose at home to the Edmonton Oilers, and I know they always beat the Oilers, so you're not always going to beat them. But in the playoff race, tonight where Winnipeg wins, and then Calgary gives you an opportunity because they lose to the Rangers, Vancouver picks up points. That was a game that Minnesota probably had circled on their calendars in victory, but 2 goals by 4 Wild forward Ben Pouliot was the difference. So worst loss goes to Minnesota.
So we saw this story. We'll get into the Sam Bradford Bill stuff after 7 o'clock. Jeremy Roenick's going to join us at 7:05 on the Patrick Kane injury. He might even want to opine on the Derek Rose injury. Maybe he got injured last night playing golf for everybody. Hope he's okay. Matthew Barnaby as well. We saw this story about, I hate these stories about ISIS. There's like a brand new story in the news about them kidnapping people and threatening their lives. So